Hi, everybody. Just waiting to confirm. Okay, it tells me I am live now. Great, great, great. How is everybody? Happy Wednesday. I'm just so happy to be here. Back home, back in my element, I don't know. Yeah, I want to kind of say full. I got some really good. I filled my cup with a lot of family time. I was in the States for a month. This is the longest time I've ever been in the States. In the last 3 years since I moved here to the island, and got to really play around with how often I want to travel there, and how much time I want to spend here, and how much time I want to spend there, and playing with where do I want to stay when I'm there, and what does that look like. I think a lot of people with COVID, the last 2 years, life and travel have looked so different. And so even though I've lived here on the island almost for 3 years, I've just now been in a place where I feel freer to play around with where I want to be, how long I want to be here, or in terms of like how long during the year I want to stay, and when I want to be gone, and when I want to be in other places, because I didn't move here to just stay here 12 months out of the year, but that is what happened in the beginning. So anyway, those of you who are taking time and space to get back to, or all the different places they may be, I know it's a big thing to incorporate into your life. And every time I've moved a lot, and I've been away from my family more than not in my adult life. And I'm very fortunate that everybody lives in the same town. And so when I do travel, I get to see everybody. But, I live far away, and I love my family. And so, yeah, it's just been a really great month, seeing how that is going to play out in the future, playing around with some ideas. And yeah, but it's really, really good to be back. It's really, really good to be back with you guys. It's telling me I'm live, but if you are live, I'm not seeing any comments. I'm doing this differently right now, so I'm going to have to go to my phone to check comments. So if you're live, please say hi. Let me know that you're here. Today's topic is, let me tell you what today's topic is, because I included it as a little teaser, I guess, in my copy. So as I said in the little blurb, announcing and promoting this live, this is something that I think, because my values and the space that I work in with my clients is around finding not just creating profit and success in your business. That's a huge, huge part of what I help my clients with, and a huge, huge part of running a business and running a business that you love. But the piece about loving your work, the piece about fulfillment is one of my greatest values. And I think it's really important, and I want to keep shattering the myth over and over and over again in my own business and with my clients' businesses around this idea that you really can do work that you love and get paid beautifully for it. That those two can go together. I've talked a lot about how in my former life, I didn't really believe that you could get paid really well to do work you love. I really thought you had to choose both. And that's something that I had to work through really hard to just even be in a place to leave corporate and start this business. So very near and dear to my heart is this concept that you can create both success and fulfillment, both profit and fulfillment, both enjoyment and money in your business. And this is something that I think really makes all the difference. If I could only pick one thing, I think this is it. And that is community, or another way to look at this is support. I'm going to talk about what I mean by this, because there's lots and lots of ways to look at how to create support for yourself as a business owner, how to be in community with other business owners as you run your business. And there's lots of ways that looks, just like running your life works for you is not going to work for me, and vice versa. Okay, good. I am doing this, changing my technology around, and I've been doing it a little differently every week, so bear with me here. Okay, so this is community. This is support. This is, and again, it looks different in different ways, but this is something that if you already have community, if you already feel that you have support, I would encourage you today to think about places and spaces, and I'm gonna hopefully give you some nuggets and some ideas of ways that you could adjust this in your own life and business. But and this is really specific to business. But just because you already have community, just because you already have support in various forms, does not mean that support and community and like you're just done. Requires intentionality, requires time and energy to be putting into your community, to be putting into the people who support you and your business, but also to pay attention to where you're needing, as you move and evolve through time in your business, and as you grow and up level, and as your business grows and up levels, the people who supported you in your last phase in business may not be the right people to support you in your next phase in business. And so community and support is something that I think we must take on as a practice, as a clear intention of something to, not that you need to like nitpick and micromanage it and like every week reevaluate the people that you're spending time with. And on with your community, refresh what's going on in your area. So wherever you are in your journey as an entrepreneur, wherever you are in your journey as someone who is in community or someone who is receiving support from other people, I invite you today to see where you might want to tweak and refine and increase or certain things in certain people, or decrease certain things in certain people based on where you are in your business now, based on the phase or the season of business that you're in. Because just like life, business changes and evolves over time, and our needs, we might be working more during one phase in our business and working less during one phase in our business, and we might be marketing and networking more in one phase in our business, and we might be serving clients and taking time off more in a different phase in our business. And so the idea is that your community and your support should support where you are in that process and help you with not only the space and phase that you're in right now, but the space and phase you're moving to, so that they can community is. And I'll give you a couple of examples of where I've seen this in my business and in my life and in my sanity. I talk about this a lot when I think about just this Facebook group alone, that having community of any sort, having community starting, I'm gonna just move my seat here, starting a business in a space of having support, starting a business, I started my business and I joined a networking group at the exact same time. Actually, I met some people in a networking group maybe 4 to 6 months before I actually started my business. And it was, in many ways, it's funny, I was telling my sister about this last month, but in many ways, I think that was a really, really, really pivotal moment for me. I had no idea what I was going to do. I didn't even know if I was going to start a business. I was in the middle of figuring out what I was going to do with my career going forward. And I knew, only thing I knew was I was not going back to corporate. The only thing I knew was I wanted to do work I loved. And I wasn't quite sure what that was. But I went to a networking lunch with a bunch of really amazing, powerful women who were all running their own businesses. And I really felt then that I could see it. I didn't know anyone. I didn't have a single role model. I didn't know anyone in my family. I didn't know anyone in my group of friends. I didn't even know any acquaintances of anyone who had started their own business, except for maybe a couple people who were in MLMs, but that's not starting your own business. That's not creating something from scratch. That you've got a whole foundation when you start an MLM. And so, or when you start, being a member of one of those organizations. And so to start your own organization is just something that I had always actually wanted to do, but I had no earthly idea how to do it, if I could do it, what that might look like. And to be in a space for 2 hours with like 20 women who were flipping doing it was so powerful for me, just in terms of the sense of knowing what is possible and seeing a model, seeing someone else doing it. There's so much power in that, and so much for me in terms of my experience that really supported me in moving forward. And so when I started my business, I joined in business for many years. There were lots of women who were just starting out and everyone in between. And what that gave me, and what I've seen other people get from experiences like that, this isn't about you have to join a networking group, it's just one option. But what it did was it helped me to not feel alone. It helped me to see what was possible. And it gave me a space where I could go, where I could say, are you on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram? Or like, how are you doing this? Or like, if I want to do my own website, like what companies, where should I start? Like, Wix, Squarespace, whatever. Like, I didn't know any of those things. And so sharing information, tag teaming things, talking through, going to coffee and just talking to somebody about anybody that is successful in business. I don't think anybody would say, and I for sure would not have the success that I have and the success that's coming to me if I had not had and did not still have a community, a very strong, deep support system that I also had to grow and create, just like I had to grow and create my business. It helps you normalize, like I said, sitting across the coffee table with someone and being able to say, like, this is really scary, and do you have any ideas for this, and what do you think about that? Normalizing the emotional experience, normalizing the mindset that happens when you start a business, really, really, really important. Again, because if you don't know, sorry, I'm just making sure I'm still alive. If you don't know, what it's like to do something new, then to have somebody else going through something similar with you is really important. That's what support groups are all about, right? Grief support groups. Making a transition and making a decision from building and growing a business from that space into scaling, or I have several clients who have started their second business and are transitioning in very different ways from one business to the other, or decreasing their time in business number one and adding more time into business number two, whatever that looks like. I think when you start a business, you have this need for normalizing, this need for support, and then when you get to a space of really taking that foundation that you've built, this is one of my favorite things to do with clients, is to really look at what you have and what you've built and what's working and what's not, and taking that and all that information and capitalizing and leveraging and catapulting from what you have to grow you even further, to grow your business even further, to grow your income even further, to grow your impact even further, and to exponentially build on that. And then to start letting go of the things that aren't serving you. Scenes, in front of the scenes, anywhere and everywhere, do I have support, or do I have the right exact support and community to help me go and grow into this next phase and into this next phase of business is really, really important. So again, what that might look like is a networking group. That's what I started my business in. I'm still in networking groups. It's very much it has been for me both a support system and a referral system. And I really, really like that aspect of it. I do run my business online, but it's really nice to connect with people. We're still connecting over Zoom, but to connect with people live and in person versus online. That feels really good to me. I really like having both channels that I market my work in, but it's also a lot of good stuff out there, and it's just a little bit of trial and error to see like where you might fit best. But I think having some sort of community, like a networking group, having a community of people like a mastermind is a great, or some sort of group coaching program where you are in a similar phase in business as the other participants or the other members. Really, really, really helpful. I've been a member of several masterminds over the years, both in a formal space, like working with a coach and having a mastermind of their other clients. But I've also facilitated my own masterminds, because when I started out, I didn't have that, and I didn't have the money to pay a coach in the beginning. And so I actually brought together people that I had met that I felt would really support me, that would support each other, that would really enjoy getting to know each other. And so I facilitated and participated in the same mastermind group for myself. That's been really, really fun. I know several of my clients really get a lot out of that. So masterminds are great. Having a business bestie, having a person like that you can maybe do some sort of co-working. Sharing ideas, getting thoughts on, business challenges, normalizing the experience of being an entrepreneur, because so many people start out as solopreneurs. And I'm sorry, like, even if you're doing it all by yourself, you don't have to feel like you're doing it all by yourself. And I also think I want to just do a quick tangent and I'll come back to this, but I also think, if you've been in my space for very long, you've heard me say this many times. I don't think you can stay in that solopreneur space for very long without bringing on some support, even if it's just like 5 hours a month of a VA support to start. Getting support is something that will exponentially, getting support in the form of some sort of team support is far and away one of the most important things you can do to help you grow and scale your business to the next level. rarely. And so again, if you are in that phase, various things like getting your website up and running or setting up your bio for LinkedIn or whatever it may be, and let yourself off the hook from having to do everything once you move into a space where you can afford even a tiny bit of help. This is a freelancer economy. Bring people on your team, right? And so that's why I didn't just call this community. I'm calling it community/support, because a community can be of support, but it can also be like a networking group, could be referrals, but then support in the form of a team member is the only other way I know to really take your business to the next level without burning yourself out. Because to me, that's not an option. It's not an option that I hold for my clients. And that's not a goal that we're okay with achieving in my planet. Burnout is not an option. And tearing your business down to the ground career. That's not what this is about. Keep it going because you've burned yourself out. So it can look like networking group. It can look like bringing on a team member or a new team member, right? So wherever you are in your business, and I want to encourage those of you who already feel like you have a community of support, who already have team members, to take a look. This is a great opportunity. It's June, the year's like half over. So it's a great opportunity to take a look at your business, take a look at where you are and where you're going, and see who and what does not align to where you are now and to where you're going now that you're midway through 2022. Who's going to help you scale, right? Letting go of commitments, letting go of communities that served you in getting to where you are, but you have to really, this is like truth telling time, may not serve you in getting to where you're going. It's really important. It does not mean anything other than you're moving on. That's part of life. That's part of business, is growing and evolving. And sometimes that means, letting go of people or communities, even those that have gotten you to this point. Networking group, a business bestie, right? Somebody, I know several people who've found a business bestie here in this Facebook group. If you're looking for one, this is a great place to just post. You're more than welcome to post here in this group, share your magic, share your tips, share your genius. Let people know what you're looking for, what kind of support you want. If you have a question, there's no silly questions. There's lots of good, smart people here in the group, from early business phase to been in business for a long time, and everything in between. So use the genius and the talents of this group if you have a question or if there's something that you want some support with. If you're looking for a business bestie, post what you're looking for, and I guarantee you there's somebody in here that would love to meet with you on a regular basis and support each other through your processes. Coaching. Hello, that is what I do for a living. My business coach is 100% whatever is up in their business this week. They can bring that up to me. They have support from me, not just in their sessions, but also behind the scenes. I use Basecamp as a messaging app so that we can continue conversations, share new insights, keep up with any practical and strategy stuff that needs to be tweaked and adjusted based on our conversations. I also review my clients' documents, right? So whatever it is that you get, that you need and are looking for in the form of a coach, whether it be a business coach, a life coach, an energy coach, a spiritual coach, all different kinds of money coach, getting some support in that realm, really, really, really valuable. Also, what is going to take you, that's that's one of the other things that I think really supports you in getting your business to the next level. So again, thinking about today's topic, it's the number one thing that makes all the difference in your role as a CEO. And I personally believe that when you feel like you are all alone in your role as CEO, even if you have a team, that's where business coaching is really, really helpful. That's where having a mastermind is really, really helpful. That's where, right? So having like a business bestie that you can talk to that also has a team, that you can share ideas with, that you can not just commiserate, but like also sharing celebrations is really, really important. And I think sometimes if not people who aren't running businesses may not understand how important it is to be celebrating whatever's happening with you in your business. That's something that I like to ask my clients a lot. Like, what are you celebrating? What's up? What's new? Tell me what your problems are, but tell me what your celebrations are, right? And everything needs to be discussed. Everything is good to be out in the open, and everything is good to be looked at. And so having somebody at your level, right? And that's when sometimes we need a new business coach. Sometimes we need a new business bestie. Sometimes we need to bring on an additional team member to support us so that we're not feeling alone in our role as CEO. Because even if you are a CEO, or even if you're running your business with someone else, if you have a co-CEO, this concept of feeling like you're all alone in it is something that I see across the board in this space, and I just don't think it has to be that way. So team member to support your business, all of these things will help you get to the next level. And I'm not suggesting that you do all of them or that you do all of them all at once. But again, today is about taking some of what I'm saying and laying it over your business and seeing, where do you need a little extra support? Teams change and evolve over time. The types of skills that you need on your team is going to evolve and change over time. What's on your plate that you need to delegate that it's time for you to let go of? What's the heaviest thing? Even if you continue to delegate, what's the heaviest thing on your plate still, right? What could be delegated? And then I want to also talk about, okay, one more thing for business, Facebook groups, right? Please use this Facebook group. Please. Tuesdays and Fridays we do promotions. So inside the post, we ask people not to share links. Everything that you want to share your links and your promotions in promotional posts. Tuesday we share freebies. Friday you can share any kind of promotion you want. And then any other day of the week, including Tuesdays and Fridays, share anything you want. Share a tip, share a celebration. Please don't share a promotion. Please only share your promotions on Tuesdays and Fridays in the comments, but share what you have to say. This is a great place to, repurpose some blog or an excerpt from your blog or a post that you've put on your own social media page, and just please don't share it from your page because that's really more of a link, but just post it, new clean post, share that here in the group. Let us know who you are. Let us know what you do. If you haven't introduced yourself, we're going to send we've got a lot of new members. We're going to send a welcome post out here shortly. But if you haven't introduced yourself, feel free to go ahead and just put a clean post here in the group and introduce yourself. Tell us what you do and let us welcome you here to this community. This Facebook community to me early on, and it's what I think gave me a lot of the confidence that I had to get started that first year. And so after I'd been in business for, I don't know, a year or two, I started this business. I started this Facebook group. So community is really, really important to me, but it's also something that I see as a success factor. I really can't think of anybody. And you know how I'm going to go on another tangent. You know how I said that when I started this business, I've been in business 4.5 years. When I started this business, I didn't have a single person that I knew that had started a business, that was running up their own business. Now, 4.5 years later, it just happens this way. But I also intentionally started this ball rolling on purpose because I wanted comrades, right? I wanted colleagues. I wanted people who were doing what I was doing in some way, shape, or form. Most of the people that I'm friends with, most of the people I talk to on a regular basis are running a business. I know a lot of entrepreneurs from my networking days, and also then because those are the people who I work with, my clients, my team members, but also that's just kind of now who I attract into my space, into my world, into my friendship groups. And I really actually thought about this a lot when I put together this live, and when I thought about how I wanted to speak about community. Successful business, meaning they are financial. I think success is both money and fulfillment. So running a successful business financially and from an enjoyment standpoint or fulfillment standpoint, that they have both money and they're enjoying their work and they're enjoying running their business, right? Because there is a difference between those two. I can't think of anybody that has both of those that doesn't also have some sort of strong community, strong team, strong support system. So if you don't have one, go get you one. Post here in the group. Let us all know who you're looking for, because maybe we know someone, even if they're not in this group. That's also one of the things that I find that community helps with is, hey, I'm looking for a really good graphic designer. I'm looking for. I posted something a while back in a Facebook group about digital nomads because I want to considering maybe opening a small business here in Honduras and what that might look like from a US legal standpoint, but also from a Honduran standpoint. So I was looking for some lawyers to consult with on that. And so you can just post that. Hey, I'm looking for somebody. There's always somebody that can help you, that wants to help you. But I really don't know of a single person that is that's running their own business, that's enjoying it, that's making good money, and that's not just enjoying the work, but they're enjoying running their business, that doesn't have serious support, serious community support, and also in the form of a team. And so I'd ask you to think about the people that you know. Like, who are your models? Who are the people that are step 2, 3 ahead of you? Like, who do you think is successful? Like, I always go to sometimes I'll just go randomly to well, what would Oprah do? Because Oprah's crazy successful. If you've seen any of her, she had a show, I can't think of what it was, chronicling the last season of her Oprah show. And it was a behind the scenes with her and her producers. And I was bowled over by how much support she had. It was groups of people saying, Oprah, I'm going to do this. Are you okay with that? Oprah, what about this? Okay, we've got this. Here's our proposal. We came up with these ideas. Which ones do you want, right? And yes, of course, it's easy to think about that in that sense, but to just know that she was really heavily involved. She was making decisions. Decisions were not being made for her about her show. She was heavily involved. But the only way to do that is to have a group of people around you. For her, in her case, it was the paid team members to support you. But you have to find the right people. And then she has, right, her Stedman and her Gates. Who are your people offline? Who are your people there? As a thing that I have had partners while I've been running this business, and I've been partner free while I've been running this business. And having a partner is really, really helpful. Now, when I don't have a partner, that doesn't mean that I don't have support. But what's going on outside of your business in terms of support that you have, and who's cheering you on, or who believes in you and who doesn't? And how can you add more time with those people that believe in you, that are cheering you on, that are making you dinner because you worked until 8 p.m.? And how can you then find a way to adjust the way that you spend your time, or maybe even let go of the way that you spend your time with the people that aren't helping you? And I don't mean necessarily taking an active role in helping you, but that aren't supportive of where you're going, and because maybe they don't understand, right? Let's just be honest. This running a business thing is not for the faint of heart. It's not for everybody. It is not easy. Work to be done around running this business, and I certainly wouldn't want to do it on my own. That's why I have my own business coach. It's why it's so important to me, and why I will shout from the rooftops forever and ever and ever how important it is to have coach of some sort. Whether I can't be everybody's coach, but it's really, really important to have the support system that you need, so that somebody who can see what you can't see. Okay, let's see. Friends, I talked about partners, family members, friends, whoever is outside of your business is also part of that community and support, right? I do think it's really important to have that in your business or related to business, and then I've done it without friends that had run a business, and I've now done it with friends who have a business. In other words, I've been in sort of every phase of my business. I've had different levels of support, and the more support I can bring into my business, and the more support I can have outside of my business, even if those people outside of my business aren't directly supporting my business, or maybe even they don't believe in it, maybe they don't get it, I don't really, but they support me in focusing on the things that are outside of business. So they call me and get me out of, pull me away from my desk and get me diving, or pull me away from my desk and get me out to watch the sunset and get a drink, whatever. Whatever it is that you need, do you have that? And knowing that you can create it, by the way, you can create whatever you need and want in community. But if you are having a hard time running your business, if you feel that it's all on your shoulders, if you're working too much and you're like, Laura, I can't even listen to you talk about this for 45 minutes because I have to get back to my job. Where can you create that support for yourself in your business? I promise you, that alone is a mindset hack. Having the support that you need in your business, outside your business, related to your business in the form of some sort of business bestie, networking group, community, mastermind, what have you. Being in a space with other people who are doing this. And then, as I said earlier, and being in a space with other people who are doing this at a similar level as you, meaning if you're sitting with a group of people who aren't dreaming as big as you are, even if you are in the same phase in business, that might not be the best community for you. This week about what are you marinating in? Ideally, you want to be marinating, right? If you're a piece of meat and you're soaking up all of the juices and the flavors and the spices that you're sitting in the bowl in the fridge marinating in the marinade, right? Who are you spending time with? What are you spending your time doing, right? And this is from your thoughts to the people, to the kinds of work that you're doing, to what you're doing outside of work. What are you marinating in? Because we're all marinating in something. Energy is so potent, it's so powerful, right? Like when you walk into a room and it feels kind of gross and heavy and you just know something like somebody had an argument or something is heavy here. You can feel it. And it's important when you're running a business that's heart-centered, all of you. It's important when you're doing work that's really deeply important to you, that you are marinating in and with people who are, they don't have to exactly be doing the same thing, but that you have a space where you're marinating in some high vibe, right? So for example, I'm going to give you another example. Maybe this is something else I've done. Maybe you don't have a business bestie. Maybe you don't have like a real, what's the word? Like a formal community. But maybe you have joined a group or a training class with a bunch of high vibe spiritual people in them. So they may or may not be running businesses, but you're marinating in grow and evolve. They're tapped into potent energy, right? That can be another way. It doesn't have to be directly related to business. I think it's important to have some support directly related to business, but it does not all have to be that way. And so again, when you're looking at your business right now and you're hearing what I'm talking about, and you can say, how can I add or increase the community support that I've got going on in my business and the inside and outside, then maybe this might be another area where maybe you've got like the nuts and bolts, the practical strategy piece nailed down, but maybe you're missing the spiritual piece, or maybe you just don't know anybody that you're marinating in your space that is dreaming as big as you. Maybe that little spiritual group might support you, right? So there's all kinds of places where you're marinating in, supported by a community. I'm being vague because I want you to be able to create this definition for yourself, but where you're marinating in not just support, normalizing, but also an energy that will support you now and support where you're going. And I know I've said that a few times, but I want to say that again here before I close, because I think that concept of what got you here might not get you to the next level. The mindset that got you here might not get you to the next level, depending on what it is, right? If we're always continuing to be learning and growing, knowing when you're playing smaller than you want to, or the people around you are playing smaller than you are. And finding a way, and it can be simple as setting an intention to find some more community support that will get you to that will help you support you in getting to your next level. So you can just set an intention. They will come. They will come. And I think it's really, really important to know that, just like friendships, right? Like I have friends that I was friends with when I was 6 years old, and I'm not in touch with them anymore. They were the right friends for me when I was 6, and I don't know where they are. They're not my friends for now, right? And that's okay. Doesn't mean anything was wrong with our friendship. It just means it happened that way, right? And knowing that you can continue to grow and evolve in your business, and that I think one of the easiest ways to continue to grow and evolve in your business is to keep bringing on that next level support, to keep working with people who are dreaming as big as you, who are vibing as high as you, if not higher, dreaming as big as you, if not bigger, who can see what you can't see. I personally think that so much of my work as a coach and our work as coaches is to see somebody's potential even when or if they can't. So that big vision is always top of mind, is always, moving forward, even if it doesn't look like it in a moment, in a week, in a month, right? But that bigger vision, that bigger mission is still sort of being moved towards. Just going to check my notes and see if there's something else I wanted to say. And also changing, it's not even have to be changed. It doesn't even have to be changing, but like making adjustments to your support team, to your community, is also a sign of growth. It's a sign that you're growing when people anymore, or when a group of people, when you maybe feel that you've learned what you were meant to learn from a group of people and it's time to move on. That's a success. That's not a failure. There's nothing wrong there. That's a success. Right? I feel, I've had a lot of romantic relationships in my life, and I feel that even though maybe I didn't feel like this necessarily in the moment when a breakup was happening, but I feel very clear and very strongly that each person that I was with was the right person for me in that moment in my life, in that phase. And I'm so grateful for that, because the person that I'm with now would not have been the right person for me to be when I was in my 20s. Right? And so I think being okay with things being complete, or complete for now, like my networking group, building relationships and learning from them in my business. Now it's something that I come in and out of based on when I have time and availability. I really spend a lot less time in that specific community. I'm still connected, I'm still a member, I'm still participating, but my participation timing changes over time based on what's going on in my business, based on my availability, based on how much time I have, right? And so that's also, so you can also take something and just make adjustments to it. It doesn't mean you've got to let go of, okay, this is the wrong community for me, right? Letting yourself make those adjustments, letting yourself increase community and support for yourself right now, based on whatever's going on in your business, and based on what's going on in your life, based on what edge you're working on now, based on what mindset you're working on now, right? Maybe you are like 2 shakes away from $100,000 in your business. Are you also spending time with other 6-figure business owners? Or are most of the people you're spending your time with making like 40 grand? No judgment there, but can you see where it might be important for you to start setting an intention to connect with other 6-figure business owners? And one way to do that, guys, is, ladies and gentlemen, is set an intention. I mean, that can even be something you put on your vision board. That can even be something that that you're open to and you're ready for, it can be that simple. It can be as simple as looking around on Instagram for higher level people to follow, to connect with, to engage with, comment on some of their posts, follow somebody new for a little while. That's something I really like to do when I'm thinking about bringing on a new team member, is I like to kind of just play a little bit in that space of whatever that skill set is, right? Whether it's a VA or a web designer or a copywriter or whatever, and to just say like, okay, I'm just going to look around and I'm going to see, maybe this person over here who's a couple steps ahead of me in their business. Let's see if there's any of those web designers in their group. Let's see if there's all kinds of places to find people online to marinate with. And it can be as simple as just following somebody new, right? So that's another place where you can say, my Instagram feed doesn't really make me think bigger, doesn't really change my, shift my belief patterns, or isn't helping me grow. So let me go add some people into my Instagram news feed that I would really enjoy viewing every day, right? It can be that small and that simple. But setting that intention and being really clear and intentional about what specifically you want to tweak or adjust or add to your community, to your support system in and out of business, I promise you, you will feel better. I promise you will feel less alone. You will find more people going through what you're going through, and you will be reminded more and more that you can not only do this, what you're doing, but you can also do the thing that you're looking to achieve next. And then bonus, because it's also a referral network, both from, hey, do you know any good VAs, to, oh, hey, I sent you somebody because I know exactly what you do. I know who you like to work with. And here's a beautiful referral on a silver platter, right? There's so much value in that. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions. Let me know if you have any questions. I would love to support you, so let me know what coaching you want around this topic. Just tag me here in the group, put your comment here in the replay, and I will come back in and comment. I have 2 open spots for coaching. If anybody is looking for a new coach, or if you want, I have lots of people. Your next level coach, helping you get to whatever your next level is a big part of what I love to do. I've spent a lot of time helping companies navigate change and transition, and I think stepping up into that next chapter, stepping up to your next level, requires potentially some tweaks to your strategy, but maybe not, probably fewer than you think. Requires a huge adjustment in your mindset. That's one of my favorite places to play with my clients. And other things like community, to making adjustments to those. And so that's really my specialty. That's really my favorite thing to do if that's what you're looking to do. I help clients with other things as well. I have people who've been with me for 4 years, and people who've been with me for a much shorter period of time. But I'm also just really here and available to help you not feel so alone. You get to your next level, and then your next level, and then your next level, and whatever that looks like, whether that's continuing to start new businesses, or whether that's just finding more ease and flow in your current space, whether that's building yourself up to a place where you only have to work 2 days a week, whatever it is that your goal is, and that shifts and changes over time. I'm in it for helping you create something sustainable. This next level has to be sustainable, or you won't be able to sustain it. And that's the other piece that I'm really big on, is not just getting you to the next level, but not getting there, in 5 seconds flat so that you burn out. There's a way to get to your next level that's sustainable, so that once you get there, you'll be able to maintain that and stay there without wearing yourself out, having the right support system. Okay, so I will put my link here in the comments if you're looking for a coach, or if you just want to sit on a call with me and see what it might be like to work with me. Hop on a free call with me. That's how you get started if you're interested. And like I said, I've got spots open on a call with me sooner rather than later months. I am looking ahead at my availability, and I just can't predict how far out I'm going to book. So hop on a call with me, start planning, even if it's just that. I do that a lot. So, all right, I'll put the link here in the comments. I'll be back next week with another live. I'm doing another workshop at the end of the month, so look out for that here shortly, and I can't wait to see you guys next week. Take care.